These are the 6.8 notes for Algebra 2. We're going to first start with some review problems. The first problem, we're going to turn and get them to both be a base of 2. So this first part is already good. But we're going to take this 8 and make it 2 to the third power. So that would be a guessing and checking on your calculator, typing in exponents until you get the 8. Then bring down the x plus 1. Once you have the same base, those cancel out. You get 2x plus 1 equals, and this over here on the right, I'm going to distribute to get 3x plus 3. From there, you have a regular linear equation you can just solve. And again, if I ever go too fast through this video, just go ahead and pause, catch up, and then turn it back on. Subtract 3, and we'll get x equals negative 2. For the next problem, problem number 2, 5 and 12 cannot be made into the same base number. So we're going to have to use our calculators, and we're going to do x equals log of the answer, which is our 12, divided by the log of the base, which is our 5. I'll go through how to type that into the calculator with you real quick. All right, so pull up a calculator, and we're going to type in the log, which is right over here, of 12. Make sure you do close the parenthesis at the end of the 12 before you divide by the log of 5. And again, close the parenthesis at the end. So that's getting us about 1.5. We'll write that as our final answer. X equals 1.5. All right, remember, you do have a calculator on your Chromebook. You go down to the bottom, it should be pinned right here. If not, go to the circle over here, pull it up, and then you should be able to find it on one of these screens right here. And then you would just do the sign in with Google. All right, let's do the third problem. This is another one where we're going to be able to get the same base number. So we're going to turn these both into 4s. 4 to the 2x plus 4, that's already fine. And then we just want to focus on getting first to 256. So again, type into your calculator 4 to the second, 4 to the third, 4 to the fourth, 4 to the fifth, until you find 256. That's going to get me a 4. And then because the fraction, I'm going to make it a negative. So one more time. Negative exponents make fractions. And vice versa. So we had our fraction, we're going to make it a negative exponent. Cancel those. Subtract the 4. And divide by 2. All right, so that's what we've done with our exponential functions. So again, let's take a look. What happened when we had the same base? When we had both a 3 and a 3, we just cancel them out. We're going to apply that same concept if we have a log on both sides. They're going to cancel. So our first example, log of 2x plus 4 equals log of 24. That log is going to cancel with that log. Bring down whatever's left and solve the equation as usual. Part B is the same. Again, you have log base 4, also canceling with the log base 4, so the little 4s go with it. And then you would solve from there. You could leave it as a fraction 5 halves, or you could change it to 2.5. Problem C, log base 3 cancels with log base 3. And this one's a much shorter problem. You only have one step. That would be to divide. 3x means 3 times x. So divide that out to get 9. So it's pretty simple where you have a log on both sides. You're just going to cancel it out. What happens if you don't have a log on both sides? We're going to use this conversion here, which we learned as the phrase first, last, second. We did that when we were working with the inverses. Pretty much that'll take this and change it to this, or vice versa, taking the log and changing it to an exponent. And that's what we're going to want to do for each of these. Notice the word rewrite. That just means you're going to rewrite it, but you're not going to have to do any math to solve it. So first, last, second, we're going to change it into an exponent problem. First is the 6. Last is the 3. Second is the 216. 6 to the third power is in fact 216, so we're done. These should always create true math equations, true math statements. 5 first to the negative 2 power equals 1 over 25. And remember, there's that negative exponent creating the fraction again. Go ahead and try C on your own. First, last, second. Good. You should have written 3 to the third equals 27. And there we are. So on the back page, they're actually going to put in some X's. Before they do that, we're going to have just something called evaluating. Evaluating means you have an equals X right there, and you're going to try to solve it. So 3 to the X equals 81. Take your calculator and start guessing and checking on exponents. So type in 3 to the third, 3 to the fourth, 3 to the fifth, until you find a number that gives you 81. That number is 4. So 4 becomes your final answer. Same thing with B. Put the X there, rewrite it. I know my answer is going to be a negative, so I'm going to put the negative there immediately. And then I can focus all of my attention just on the 16. So 2 to what exponent gets me just 16, regular 16? That would be 4. And then the negative happens from that fraction 1 over 16. So final answer, negative 4. Right. Again, put the equals X, rewrite it. 2 to the X equals 32. And just guess and check until you get an exponent that gives you 32. Two to the fifth power would give you 32, so your answer is 5. All right, now we're solving the equations. Now the X is already part of the problem, and we're just going to have to rewrite it and solve. So we're not able to cancel any of the logs here because you don't have one on each side. You just have one log, and you can only cancel if you have one on each side. So we're going to instead rewrite, just like we did above, 3 to the negative fourth equals X. You could type that into your calculator, 3 to the negative fourth. Notice you'll get 3 to the exponent of negative 4. You do get a big long decimal there. So you could write that down, or if you wanted to, you could do 3 to the fourth power, 3 to the exponent of 4, 81, and then just make that 81 into a fraction, 1 over 81. Again, either one is fine, but you'll probably see 1 over 81 more often. Part B, first, last, second. So we'll evaluate 5 to the third. Type that into your calculator. 5 to the third is 125. Part C, start by rewriting first, last, exponent, and second. So this time you have something next to the X. We want to focus first on doing the exponent. So 4 squared is 16. Then you can get the X by itself by adding 3. All right, part D. Rewrite that first, last, second. Evaluate it first, the exponent, 4 to the third. So 4 times 4 times 4, 64. And then divide by 2. 32. Go ahead and see if you can rewrite part E and maybe start solving it out. All right, so you should have written 2 to the 4th equals 3x plus 1. Then evaluate 2 to the 4th, so 2 to the 4th in your calculator. 16. And then solve that all the way out. Subtract 1, divide by 3. The last one's just a little bit different. Starts off the same though. First, last, second. And this time the x's are base numbers. So we're trying to figure out what number to the third power is 125. So maybe you do 2 to the third. Nope, that doesn't work. 3 to the third. That doesn't work. 4 to the third. Right, until you eventually get to 5 to the third, which is your 125. So again, more guessing and checking. This time your x is 5.